Mike Kingbiz here with On the Mic with Mike, the best business radio program around. I'm here with my good friend DrDanni of the world famous Women's Business Resource Center. We hear you guys have something exciting coming up.
The Women's Business Center of Richmond would like you to join us for our weekly Winning with WOW radio broadcast, hosted by yours truly, DrDanni, on ESPN Richmond 106.1 FM. Each segment features a woman boss who shares aspects of her entrepreneurial journey, designed to enlighten, uplift, and inspire. If you have business ownership aspirations, let us help. We can be reached at the WBC Richmond on our socials or thewbcrichmond.org, or you can call us at 804-525-9499.
Well, good morning, and thank you for joining the Women's Business Center of Richmond's Winning with WOW media broadcast. Today we have something with a little bit of a twist. You're familiar with our efforts to bring to you women business entrepreneurs as well as minority entrepreneurs. And we also have a new segment called Ask DrDanni. But today we are focusing on our cash connectives. We are focusing with the LISC organization. Welcome, George.
Thank you.
And very excited to have you with us. As you know, again, we mentioned we have several different segments that we do. We have fire creatives and we fold that in, but it's also important for us to have some dialogue with entities, organizations that is responsible for putting cash on the streets in the hand of entrepreneurs. So if you could give us a little bit of your background, George, and talk to us a little bit about LISC, we'll get further into what this segment is really about just after that.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. My name is George Piazza. I'm the Economic Development Program Officer for LISC Virginia. It's a nonprofit here in the Richmond area. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, but I grew up here in Richmond. After school, I traveled all over the world working in different cities. I was in New York City for 5 years before coming back to Richmond. And really one of the big reasons for wanting to come back is just to make a difference and take the things I learned from around the world and apply that here to Richmond. And also just recognizing the shifting political landscape in the country, locally, and the need to really contribute and respond to that and to help out communities in a different way. So LISC is a national nonprofit. We're what's known as a Community Development Financial Institution, or a CDFI. And basically we exist to provide resources to communities that need it to support their community redevelopment, their revitalization. So whether that's affordable housing, small business work, commercial corridors, job access, and even now with the pandemic, like many other nonprofits, we really expanded our scope to respond to new and emerging needs. Some of that has included food access, broadband, which we've been helping out in South Central Virginia, especially in the rural parts of the state. But really our office here in Richmond, we're focused in on the Richmond, Henrico, Chesterfield County areas, Petersburg and Hopewell. And it's really looking at all those different tools, assets of a community that we can really focus on revitalizing, strengthening, and really the long-term goal is increasing social determinants of health, improving health outcomes, improving quality of life for residents, and really thinking about what makes communities flourish. That's really what we're focused on at LISC.
That's fairly comprehensive. And sometimes we run into scenarios where business owners may not, they might not know how to really put in context a CDFI or community development financial institution. And I'll let you describe it in the context of commercial banking, credit unions, different such entities as that, right? So tell me, if you could, are there some nuanced things that will help put into context what a CDFI is and maybe some of the benefits of working with a CDFI?
That's honestly a terrific question. So for small businesses in particular, they can think of a CDFI as a nicer bank, so to speak, I guess is how I'll put it. So we get our funding from different government sources, from private sources, and basically we, for small businesses, exist to provide cheaper, more affordable capital to help businesses grow. And also, and this is why I say we're a nicer bank, is how we review loan applications is very different than a traditional small business. So at LISC, for example, we're not looking at a business's credit score. In fact, if a business does have a low credit score, we have tools to help businesses improve their credit score, but we can still provide the same affordable capital to a small business. We also serve in communities that don't have banks, that may not have banking relationships. We exist to go into communities to build those relationships, as you mentioned the word comprehensively, through a community. So when we're doing our job correctly, you'll see us doing 15 other things in the community, but then as a small business owner, we can exist there to have that relationship, to find out what your needs are, and to provide you capital access, to provide you access to coaching, to a network of resources. We have similar tools to our bank in terms of lending products, but we go beyond that too. So we provide 0% loans. We help provide grants to small businesses. So we really think for small businesses, we're there for you before you need to get to a traditional bank, before you need to get to larger loans, higher capital intensive needs, any SBA loans. We're there to build you up to that point. We're there to work with you. We're there to work with the community that you live in, and really try to find, and if we don't have any products that necessarily work for a business, we try to fundraise for that. So if we're working in a community and we hear all these businesses need the same type of grants to support marketing efforts or new storefront facades, that's really where we would come into to try to fundraise, find new dollars to support businesses' needs in a very localized manner. So it's definitely complex. We're a complex organization as a community development financial institution, but key takeaways are flexibility, lower interest, and many times no interest. We can provide grants. We're really there to respond to the community's needs instead of coming up with our own products and then trying to sell them to a community. It's really more grassroots, bottom-up driven.
Yep. I like the conciseness of pulling it together and saying flexibility, low, no interest loans, and really trying to meet the needs of growing small businesses. It sounds as though your mission and your ability and the instruments that you have are designed to help businesses grow. And you know, that's a key core element of what we do at the Women's Business Center of Richmond. We are a resource partner to help businesses get their ideas down on paper, to help them identify the core elements of their business, their differentiation, their competitive business proposition, put their financials together, business plan, etc., and then prepare them for once they have established their business, maybe in a couple of years, or maybe even in that first year, we are working towards helping them identify the next step in capital needs to be able to expand their business. So whether it's from aspiring, established, or expanding, oftentimes the challenge that we have is convincing our women business owners that it's okay to get a recoverable loan. And we'll talk a little bit about that. It's okay to get a small loan that may be just for a few months. But the point is, don't wait till your business is in trouble and then, you have, a fire on all corners of the house, so to speak, and that's problematic. Help me a little bit and talk a little bit about the kinds of partnerships that you have with resource partners like ourselves. In particular, we have a scenario, it's July 5th. I think we have a 10-day window for people to get in their applications. Can you talk a little bit about this recoverable loan, Black and Indigenous people of color program that we're working together on?
Exactly. So we're thrilled to be partnering with the Women's Business Center of Richmond on this program. And this is, I guess, another way to help differentiate us from a traditional bank is when we provide financing to businesses, we like to have a partner in tandem that knows the community, knows the businesses, already has an idea of which businesses would be great for this sort of funding, whatever we're providing. And in this case, with our BIPOC small business program, as you mentioned, you all are a great partner to be working with, providing that technical assistance, that coaching, and that connection to a different population of businesses that have maybe not had the same access to all the funds that have come through during the COVID recovery phase. How can we really be targeted with that? So with this program, and we're really excited about this. Again, as I mentioned, it's in response to that a lot of small businesses did not get the help that they needed during the pandemic. It's in response to the fact that Richmond has a long, complicated history of supporting or not supporting its Black communities. And really, it's a recognition of those massive problems coming to a head over the past few years in the city. And it's what's our responsibility as a nonprofit, as the general Richmond community, what's our responsibility to supporting especially Black communities in the city and trying to address some of these pains, these harms that have incurred in communities in a very localized way, but then starting to, set the foundation for communities to flourish in a way that they still have ownership, so that as the city continues to grow, communities that historically have missed out on capturing that wealth are at the center of that and can still prosper going forward. So all of that to say, we're very thankful for funding from Altria, Capital One, and the Community Foundation for supporting.
Shout out to Altria. Shout out to Capital One.
For supporting this initiative, because they really stepped up in a very intentional way when a lot of other partners were not sure what their role was in the community. They were very direct and again, intentional. They're decisive about what they wanted to do. So what this loan fund is, there's two components. The first part are 0% loans to small businesses. Those are from $10,000 to $50,000. That's 50. And they're 0% loans. They can be used for working capital if you need support hiring new managers, new staff, if you need to purchase inventory in bulk, because that will give you discounted prices on both the commodity and the shipping. If you want marketing support, website support, basically anything that can help your business grow, you can use this funding for. And then the other big issue I want to highlight with this funding and the big use is, if businesses have taken on debt during the pandemic that's at an extremely high interest rate, at any interest rate, this is funds that you can use to pay off that debt and essentially refinance. So many of the businesses that I've been meeting with over the past few months have been sharing stories of 19% or more interest loans that they've taken on during the pandemic to pay for back rent. They just were stuck in a bad situation. As you said, you're stuck in a position where maybe you have too many fires going on and you just need to get by. By all means, I view this as a wonderful opportunity to pay down those high interest debts that you may have on, just clear those from your books. You don't have to worry about them anymore. I feel like even just the mental alleviation of not having that stress is really important. The other thing, just lastly with the funding, is there's 6 months of no payment to start. So there's a nice period to actually use the funding to help grow your business. And this is where we are a nonprofit. So if you need to extend your loan term to pay back the loan, we're flexible. We understand businesses have different needs. Situations come up. The world is crazy to predict right now, month to month, what you should be doing. So we're here, we're flexible with that. And then the second part, which I'm really thrilled about as well, is each business borrower is going to receive 6 months of free coaching provided by the Women's Business Center. This will be looking at businesses' plans as a business, especially with the pandemic. Are there new adaptations, new adjustments, new pivots that need to happen? Looking at financial management, human resources, marketing, just kind of cradle to grave, what can help your business. And the two things I'll just plug, so I'm again really thrilled about the program you all have developed for this, is businesses will be in a room with other business owners. So it's peer-to-peer, it's learning from other businesses. We really hope that businesses can kind of share and troubleshoot ideas with other business owners. who have really been experiencing the same issues day to day with their business. And then the other great point, as you mentioned, is your connection to a bunch of resources and network of other partners in the community. We see business as getting that coaching, that 6 months of support, but then having those connections with different business owners in the communities, with different business support organizations in the community going forward, to really trying to help businesses stabilize, but also grow and set them on a path where they can be connected with resources that can help them going forward. So really excited to get this program up and running. The deadline is July 15th to get applications in, but people can email me. I'll share my contact information later. Happy to work with the business if there's just any way that we can help getting a business this application in. And we're hoping to have the coaching program start sometime this fall. So really excited to have this opportunity for a minority business community in Richmond.
So yes, and I guess I would just want to put a pin in the excitement that we have, because so many of our business clients, they just need, small loans. They need $10,000 or $20,000, and sometimes even lower than that. But the point is, we haven't hitherto been in a position to be in the micro lending space. And because it's a recoverable loan and you have that flexibility, you're not trying to put them in a position where, they're going to be stressed out trying to get this thing. So in 6 months, I can use the funds that I get to maybe activate a new revenue stream, or to expand an area that grows my share of wallet from my existing clients, because I have now a broader portfolio, or I can market to and attract new clients. So this is an exciting time just in general, but we at the Women's Business Center definitely want to do everything that we can to support you in getting your application in, and then definitely with the CEO Academy launching that 6-month window, there will be many things, many additional resource partners that we would bring to bear that can help you from soup to nuts, from accounting to lawyering to all of the, protecting your intellectual property, to your marketing plans. And, the biggest thing that we've noticed with existing businesses and the need to pivot as we came out of COVID, was everyone didn't have a digital footprint. So a digital marketing strategy has been a key thing that we've been working with our clients over the past, couple of years. I'm wondering, George, before we go to break, can you think of or share any success stories that, you could point to as it relates to benefactors of the LISC grant, Recoverable grant, loan programs, or whatever that, just to inspire people to just go ahead and apply. Don't be timid. And I say that because, again, we have to encourage women. You don't have to just run your business outside of your own bank account or pocketbook, as that were, but you really don't get to a point where you gotta have help and you're burning, but to reach out. But I think success stories is another way of encouraging people to move forward.
It is. It's a great question. So across some of the different programs that we've run, similar to this, I would say is, we had one business that they were a dine-in restaurant. They made their own bread, and they really needed a new piece of equipment to mix their bread at a higher volume and more quickly so that they could go toward the retail and wholesale space. So it opens up a whole new revenue stream for them. This piece of equipment was $25,000, but really that long-term benefit and growth for the business is massive. And it's more than just that $25,000. It built their awareness with customers. It offered a new revenue stream for them. It really presented a new possibility and path for them that maybe they needed to wait 6 to 12 months otherwise before they could have saved up for that piece of equipment, and going to be interest or putting it on a credit card, which would expand the cost more. And this kind of alleviates all those stresses, lets businesses get to where they need to much sooner. We have another business that is use some of our funds. They really needed to hire staff to run the day-to-day operations of their business. They really felt like, as a business owner, he can't be doing everything, and they needed to step out of some of that day-to-day operation so they could help grow their business. So they use some of our funding to hire someone to manage the store on a day-to-day basis. They've used funding to purchase new machines so that they could bag their goods more quickly, really try to create more efficiencies, higher volume. So it's really a great example for a business of what are ways, like you said, not just the finances for ease of mind, but the business. What are ways to improve the operations of a business, make the day-to-day work a bit easier? And then, of course, I know I've mentioned it before, but we've had quite a few businesses that had tremendous debt during the pandemic. And they really use this as a way to bring down their monthly payments. We have one business who will have, before this loan, they will have had monthly payments over $1,200 alone just in debt. And this loan, their monthly payment's only going to be $800 a month once repayment starts. So already they're in the plus of about $300 in their monthly cash flow. So there's a lot of great ways like that. We have other businesses too that are looking for financing for kind of gap financing. They can take on higher contracts with businesses, but they really need that working capital to support their growth. So again, another type of business success story that we've seen over the past few months.
Yeah, so I appreciate you sharing that because, again, we're trying to motivate people to complete their application. I think I talked to our program director and you had given her some numbers basically that said that, you know, there's a lot of applications that have been started, but not a lot of them have been completed. And there are some that have been completed already and some that has been approved for funding. So one of the biggest challenges that people have sometimes is getting their paperwork in order. So I want you to talk a little bit about that criteria. I think the criteria, credit is not a barrier.
Correct.
You need to have been in business. Is there a specific number of years that you want them to have to be in business? I think that's maybe 2 years.
So it's 3 years. So it's 2019 is when the business has to have been in operation.
Okay.
So the requirement's pretty light. So basically the biggest one is, are you a minority business owner? If you check that box and you live in Richmond, Henrico, or Chesterfield, and your business has been in operation for 3 years, that's the main requirement. There's no industry type. So that's really, if you're a business owner, you fit those 3 categories, you're most likely eligible for the program.
Okay.
In terms of the financial documents, getting all of that in order, the 3 main documents that we need are businesses' profit and loss statements, also known as income statements, which show a business's revenue and expenses for a calendar year, their balance sheets, which show their assets and liabilities for a calendar year, and then just tax returns, which if they're filed as an individual or as a corporation. Those are really the 3 main financials, and we need those for the last 3 years. So for tax returns, that could be 21, 20, and 19. And if businesses need help compiling those resources, if they don't have those documents in order, there's plenty of partners that we can refer them to for free that can take that on, as well as I imagine the Women's Business Center would be a great resource for that as well. So if a business needs help getting those documents in order the last few days, I'm happy to work with the business to give them some time to get all their documents in order.
Definitely, definitely. So let's just to wrap a bow around it. If you're listening and you're interested in the BIPOC program for small businesses that's targeting Richmond, Henrico, and Chesterfield business owners, minority women, minority owned businesses, that means 51%. You need to have been in business since 2019, have available to you 3 key documents: your balance sheet, your profit and loss or P&L statement, as some people refer to it, or an income statement, as well as the taxes for the last 3 years. That's 19, 20, and 21. And 0% interest loan, 6-month grace period, anywhere from $10,000 up to $50,000. And so that's what we're trying to get as many of our clients who are in need to apply for. And then we're not going to just leave you out there. We understand that you need to have a plan for how you're going to integrate these funds into your business for the purpose of growing your revenue and/or your profitability. Sometimes your revenue can remain the same, but if you learn how to do things more efficiently, have an improved supply chain, you can actually improve your profitability and give you a better cash flow. So those are some of the thought processes that have gone into developing this training program that you will be going through for that 6 months after that grant period. So maybe you can share with us now, George, how people can follow up with you, knowing that the deadline for all applications to be completed and in are July 15th.
Yep, 2 ways you can get in touch with me. First, our website is www.lisc.org/Virginia. That's lisc.org/Virginia. On the homepage, there's a big picture with a link that takes you to the program page. On the program page, you'll see the application link, you'll see a program flyer. I believe there's even a webinar recording on there as well. And then my email, which is at the bottom of that page, or you can write it down. It's G, then my last name, Piazza, Piazza at lisc.org. Please send me any emails, any questions. I'm happy to respond. I'll do my best to get back to you, and hopefully within a few minutes of any questions that you may have. I understand businesses have a quick turnaround, so happy to assist as quickly as I can.
Absolutely. So, George, we are ecstatic about what this program is going to mean for business owners in RVA, particularly business owners who are a part of the Women's Business Center of Richmond. You don't have to already be a client. Anyone who's hearing this can apply, as George mentioned, lisc.org/Virginia. And you can get access, you apply, they own that entire process. And once they notify us of those individuals who have been approved, then you will be a part of our cohort where it will be, we will have some sessions that are one-to-many, but the biggest thing, as he's mentioned before, is having everyone in the room and learning, because you will be in the room with a number of different businesses at different parts of their journey. So we are the Women's Business Center of Richmond. We're excited about this particular episode that runs at ESPN Richmond 106.1. I am your host, DrDanni, and this has been another session of Cash Connectives as we are trying to connect small businesses with the resources that they need intellectually and financially. Have a great day.